Hi guys, I'm coming back to you live from the yarn crib again. I have much more some fall shades, getting ready to start doing fall pumpkin making. But today's video is going to be a market recap of my third market. Before I get into sales, I'll just give you a little background on the event. This was my first evening event. It was also during a weekday, so my other two markets have been from 9 to 2 on Saturdays. This market was from 5 to 8, so it was only 3 hours. It was a sip and shop on a Wednesday night. So they had food trucks, they had live music, they had this big courtyard that was set up with like cornhole and handball and some other just like outdoor games. They had, oh gosh, I don't even know how many food trucks were there. And then 40 vendors. So the food trucks were on one side of the courtyard. The 40 vendors were on the other side along a sidewalk. The traffic was great. Throughout the night, it kind of slowed down for the last hour or so, but a pretty steady flow throughout the event. It was hot, it was windy, it was really windy. I'll tell a little story about that while I'm breaking down all the sales. But so much better than my last market, where we were getting chewed alive by bugs and hidden behind a privacy fence with nobody that knew about the event. So this was much better. In fact, it was so great that my husband wants to do their October sip and shop on the 9th. We'll see if we get approved to sell at that one, but I think that covers the event information, and now we'll get to sales. I think this is like the third time I've restarted this because I feel like I've forgotten how to film a tutorial. This is what I'm talking about. I've forgotten how to film YouTube videos. Let's get started with my sales for this market. So I'm just gonna kind of go in order from how you approach my tent and kind of working my way around from left to right. So the first thing you would see as you walk towards my tent are my bees. They are floating from fishing line and ornament hooks around the frame of my canopy. And so they do, I feel like they attract attention just because they're, you know, cute, colorful bees floating around. And so the bees this time around were my second bestseller of the day. I actually sold 5 of these. In my first market, where that's been my best market so far, I sold 4 bees. And so this one I sold 1 more. And I actually did better with colored bees this time than the first time. I think maybe I sold a purple bee my first market, and this market I sold a couple colored bees. So he's gonna go, I'm gonna try to kind of just put everything that's sold up here on my shelf behind me. So I sold an orange bee. It was kind of this color. It's more of like a coral than an orange, I guess. I sold an orange bee. I sold a hot pink bee, kind of this color. And then I sold, I think the other 3 were yellow. So the yellow bees still do the best, but they got a lot of love this time around. Walking into my tent, on the left side, I have a table that's kind of facing long ways, and right at the front of that table is my fruit basket. So I'm gonna try to move my whole fruit basket in here. Here is my fruit basket. You can't even see all the things, but I had 3 pickles. I still had my 1 fat pickle in a jar. He got a lot of attention, but once again, I did not sell. Should I put my face in here? I'm gonna put my basket down. Okay, sorry, my fruits and veggie basket. I had 3 pickles, none of them sold. However, a lot of people commented on the pickles. They liked the pickle in the pickle jar. I had the second time someone suggest me doing smaller pickles, you know, like bread and butter size pickles to fit in my pickle jar. So because I've had that mentioned to me multiple times, I think for my next market, I will try to have some smaller pickles that are kind of like the size of my blueberries or strawberries to fit in the jar and see if they do better. The smaller fruits and veggies were definitely getting more attention than the others. However, I will say I did sell a carrot this time around. So I did sell one carrot. I was kind of just thinking maybe no one would buy carrots because I've heard from watching other crochet videos that orange and yellow like aren't very good sellers for whatever reason, but I sold a carrot, so he can go up in my sold category. My bees are 15, my carrots were 15. My corn got a lot of attention again. A lot of people love the corn, but nobody actually has bought him yet, which I'm okay with because my corn is like one of my favorite things in my stand. So I kind of don't want him to sell. I kind of just want him to be, you know, repping in the fruits and veggies basket. I sold one blueberry. So my blueberries, I think blueberries and strawberries might have been equally sold in my last market. I don't remember. But I did sell one blueberry and I sold 3 strawberries. So they were one of my better sellers of the day. I had 3 of these red ones and then I had 2 of these pink ones. The pink ones look evil still to me. Also, my camera always makes this look black, but this is like a dark green color on the top here. But people definitely prefer the red colored strawberries to the pink ones. And these are both free patterns. Next, right after the fruits and veggies basket, I have my snugglers basket. And the snugglers did get attention. People picked up the duck, especially a couple times. My long chicken was picked up a couple of times. My little banana slug, he didn't get very much love. Maybe that's the yellow. Maybe it's because he's yellow, because apparently people have things against yellow. But my yellow slug and flamingo, they did not get much attention. Actually, this whole little kind of corner of my table didn't get a lot of attention. So after the fruits and veggies basket, I did not sell any snugglers. I also did not sell any pigs or any sheep. So my first market, I sold 3 of these guys. This market, I had one lady that picked them up and really liked them. Actually, I think I had 2 ladies that came and picked up and really liked them, but didn't end up buying the pigs. So pigs and sheep did not get any bites this market. They were kind of in this crate, sort of in the corner as you went around the table. Right above that, I had my possums. My possum pyramid, again, a lot of people commented on the possums, but I only had one possum sale during my market, and it was actually in the middle of our tent catastrophe. So let me just tell you. Okay, so this market, it was windy. It was windy when we were setting up, and we were setting up on pavement. So there was no grass to peg your tent into. And so we had 3 of our 4 corners, tent legs, tied down to these massive cinder blocks. On our 4th leg, we had tied the rope, cord, whatever. We had used it to wrap my 6-tiered shelf to the leg of the canopy. So there was 3 cinder blocks and then our shelving unit tied to the 4th leg. And about halfway through the market, I think it was like 6:45, this huge gust of wind came up, and I swear it had to have moved like a scooped underneath our tent and the tent right next to us. We had a couple of older ladies selling Mary Kay makeup right next to us. It lifted our tents. Their tents had sandbags tied, like the sandbag weights tied to it, and it sent our 2 tents airborne with my shelving unit tied to one of the legs. It was like a parachute. They were like sailing up into the air. They knocked over a couple of my crates. My tables were still set up, but obviously all of the plushies that were on that shelving unit went flying. Half the stuff on my tables went flying. It went up over our heads behind us, And there was this poor elderly woman and her husband sitting in lawn chairs behind us in the grass. They weren't shopping. I think they were just there to just enjoy people watching and listening to the music. And the tent came up over the back of our heads, and she got hit in the leg with our 6-tiered shelf that was tied to the leg of the canopy. It hit her in the knee as she was sitting here in this lawn chair, and the people working the event had to go get her like an ice pack to rest on her knee. It was, my husband just kept saying, oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing, because it drew the attention of literally everybody, all the other vendors. We talked to this sweet middle school girl that was helping her mom run a lemonade stand clear across the courtyard on the other side where all the food trucks were. And she came over to visit later, and I was like, did you see we lost our tent? She's like, yeah, we saw it happen. So it was crazy. And then on top of my husband like holding our tent upside down, trying to decide what to do, there were people still coming up to my table and wanting to like buy things. I actually sold four different things while Jake was back with our tent upside down and plushies were like all over the grass. It was, so I'm like trying to take people's payment. My mom's friend was there shopping at the tent when it happened. She's like trying to frantically pick stuff up off the ground. Anyway, it was a madhouse, but I did sell my one and only possum during that whole tent mayhem. So here he is. On top of my possums, I had another smaller crate that my Flip the Fish sits in, and then my jumbo hamster was sitting on top. Flip the Fish did get picked up, and a couple people tested out his flipping skills this time, which I don't even know if he ever got picked up my first market, but no bites on him. Bites, fish. And the hamster, he didn't really get looked at a whole lot either, which is fine. It's just a nice to have another like bigger item available. I noticed this market, not as many big items sold as my first market. I feel like even my bigger items had a lot of attention the first market, and this one, that was not the case. So I think that's usual though. Okay, after that, I had my Adopt a Kitty Loaf Cat crate. I've seen so many people talking about how they cannot keep loaf cats at their booths. Like they sell out. This one I sell for $25, this one I sold for $18, and neither of them were bought. I did have one lady that bought the sitting kitties. I have these for $13. They're sitting on top of my Adopt a Kitty crate, and she bought a gray and white sitting kitty. So I did sell one of those, but I was surprised that the kitties didn't get as much attention as I figured they would. A lot of people like the Adopt a Kitten sign, but nobody actually ended up adopting a kitty. After the Adopt the Kitties, I have my little rainbow of axolotls that are just laying flat on the table. They did get a lot of comments on them, but I only sold 2 of the 6 I think that I have up there, and they are the same 2 colors I sold the first market. So my pink and purple axolotls were sold to 2 little girls. They were sisters, so one picked out the pink one picked out the purple one, and I think their mom thought they were seahorses, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, so those same 2 were scooped up. I sell these for $20 a piece, so 2 out of the 6 sold. Try to set him up behind the kitty. So after my axolotls on the table, I have 3 of these baskets full of chicks. I have them marketed as clucks. I sell them for $12 a piece, and I think I brought 23 of these to the market. I have 2 in every color. All of these colors. Let's see, I also had pink, brown, and a speckle, like this color speckle. And I have 2 of each except for the 2 black and white ones and this brown speckle. I have 3 of each of those. I ended up selling 7 chickens. So they were my, yeah, that's right, seven chickens. They were my best sellers of this market. I'm already restocking, so I sold 2 brown. Here's my brown bodies. This is the Michaels Loops and Threads in terracotta. Sold 2 of those. I sold 2 pink chickens, which I haven't sold brown or pink chickens at either of my other markets. And then I sold 1 white, or this isn't white, it's more of a cream. This is another color chicken that I had not sold at my other markets. 1 black and white speckled one, and then I sold 1, this color, one of these colors that was in my wonky bin. It was like a big chicken, and I had the safety eyes in, and he kind of looked like bug-eyed, so I put him at a discount in my wonky bin. Anyway, so yeah, I sold 7 of these chickens. They did really well. Gotta rep the chickens up there. Okay, after the chickens below, I kind of had a new thing. I have this, my mom bought this wooden decorative wagon that I had on the ground right in front of all the chickens. And I had a bunch of one-off items in that wagon, like my mermaid for $65, my jumbo axolotl for $50, my booby for $25, and then I had a couple more. These obviously didn't sell because I still have them to show you, but I did sell 3 things out of there. I had my Ray of Sunshine, which I think I showed in my last video. I'll try to insert a picture if I have one. I sold it for $15 to my aunt. Actually bought it for a future baby shower gift. I had that, and then I sold a gnome popper for $20, and then my bigger gnome popper that has the whole body, these 2 I showed in my last video, I sold that one for $25. So that little one-off wagon did fairly well. I sold half the things in there, so I was pleased with that. Yeah, so I'll keep having my one-off item wagon. And then the last thing on the far right side that went airborne was my 6-tiered shelf. So really quick, at the top of my shelf, I had mallards and bald eagles. Mallards hardly got any love or mention at all. I have these both for $15, and I did not sell any. I have 3 mallards and 3 bald eagles and did not sell any of them. The bald eagles did get some comments, but no one ended up buying them. And then after that, I had my booty frogs, which I only sold 1 of at my first market. I had 4 at my first market. I only sold 1 out of them. This market, I sold all 3 of my booty frogs that I had up on that shelf. So I do have 1 of my daughters here. This is my daughter's booty frog that I made for her. This is a free tutorial on, oh gosh, YouTube, I think, by False Bubbles. I had a purple, a green, and a teal booty frog up, and I've sold all 3 of them. The purple one was my second sale to my friend Kathy. Shout out to you, Kathy. I sold these for $15 a piece, and yeah, they're gone. So I'm gonna have to restock more of these guys. It's just interesting to me how some markets, it seems like, I don't know, people gravitate towards different things. But the booty frogs did really well for me with this market. Under that, I had my mushy pops. If you watch my first market recap, you'll know my mushy pops were my best seller. I sold 6 of them there. At this market, I only sold 2. So it's so different every time. They did get picked up a lot and commented on a lot, but yeah, only 2 ended up selling. 1 purple one, and then a red from my wonky bin that wasn't like popping quite right. It would just kind of like go like this every time you popped it. It like wouldn't go all the way down. So I was really surprised, and I'm kind of glad because these are not my favorite things to make. But yeah, I sold 2 mushy pops for $15 a piece. Well, one was a wonky bin one, so yeah. And then after that was my turtles.
I only had 2 up for sale, and I sold one. Was actually my very first sale of the day, was one of my ice cream scoop turtles. It had I'll insert a picture if I can find one. It had a pink shell with a teal body, and the pink shell had like little red flecks in it, like a strawberry ice cream scoop. So yeah, that was my very first sale of the day. So got an order from the lady who bought the 2 axolotls. She also bought my gnome pop. She messaged me after the market on Facebook, wanting to know if I could make her 4 green and brown turtles. And we ended up deciding on sea turtles, which I have not made before. So I need to get going on that order. Yeah, so turtles, I think I sold 1 last market, but was my first sale for this market. I'm running out of room on my shelves. Okay, and I think this is the last thing. So my last shelf item were my octos. By the way, this is a new yarn that I just got. This is Bernat Blanket in Ocean Shades. It's a variegated yarn. It's a really cool color yarn. I just made this octo in it, and then I had a navy one, same color as this turtle and the blueberry. Had a navy one and a teal octo, and the navy octo sold for $15. In total for the day, I sold 32 items for a total of $460. So that was fantastic. It's actually, I made the most and sold the most plushies at my first market, but it was a 5-hour market. This one was only a 3-hour market. It was a weekday in the evening, and I sold 32 things. The first market I sold 45 for a 5-hour market. So I actually sold more per hour than my first market. So it was a really good market. They have another one in October that Jake wants me to sign up for. So I might do that. We've just started homeschooling again, so I really just don't know. Uh-oh. My son might be waking up from his nap. I really just don't know how much time I'm going to have to do markets now that we're starting. I'm homeschooling 3 of my 4 kids, and it just is very time consuming. So like doing big market preps, I don't know. I'm probably going to focus more on like Etsy orders, but we may do that one, the Sip and Shop in October. I think it's October 9th at that same location. My next scheduled market is mid-September. It is going to be a lot different than anything I've done before. It's only, I think, 2 hours of sale time, and it's at the beginning and end of this women's conference. It's indoors, so the people that are coming to this are mainly going for the speaking event. I don't know how many are going to be like there to shop necessarily, so I'm not expecting that to be a big selling market. I mean, I might sell a few things, but I don't really think I'm going to need to do any crazy market prep for that. Although I do want to take like pumpkins, ghosts, sunflower pillows, some more like decor things for that I do want to prep. Oh, I forgot to say I did sell 1 small pumpkin. I don't even have a picture of that. I sold that to my aunt. It was like a little $10 handheld pumpkin. My takeaways for this one are double secure your tents, which you would think like 3 cinder blocks would secure our tent, but no, it didn't. Overall, it was a really great market. Oh, here's another thing that I thought was interesting. During my first market, it was in more of a rural area, a rural town, and I would say there was a really good portion of our sales that were cash. And this market was more up in the suburb area. It was downtown near a courthouse, and I had 1 cash. Of the 32 things I sold, only 1 of them was paid for with cash. Everybody else did card or Venmo, which I thought was interesting. That was a lot different than my first market. Oh, another thing I was going to say that I didn't really talk about in my first market recap was it is so cool when people just come up to the stand and are really excited about what you're selling. Like, even if they don't buy anything, there was like this one lady that came over and she was like, oh my gosh, everything in your stand just makes me so happy. And that was like the best compliment. It's so fun when people come in and just make comments about your work and say how much they love them, how cute they are, even if they don't buy anything. That is just really, I don't know, that's just as good, if not better, than a sale. When people are just kind and encouraging and just have kind things to say about the things you make. That is very motivating to want to continue doing and making things. So anyway, I'm not sure what my next video will be, possibly a rundown of Etsy orders. I'm making another duck for an Etsy order. I may be doing a couple snakes. I had that sea turtle order. So I might be doing more packaging orders, sending out orders in my next video. If anyone has suggestions, things they want to see, yeah, leave a comment. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.